Okay, part two. So, she seems kind of calm right now, so I thought now would be a good time. I tried yesterday, actually, and she was just not having it, so trying to make this as quick as possible. So part two, I think some of you guys are asking, like, what kind of Japanese you need to know, and before entering the school, or if you need to speak it. And yes, of course you do. I asked them during the orientation if they had any other foreigners that had been studying at their school before, and they were like, oh yeah, we had, but their, definition of foreigner was like Chinese and Korean, Japan-born citizens, or I didn't say that right, but like Chinese nationals and Korean nationals that were born in Japan. So they already speak and live like a Japanese person, so I don't know if that counts really. And so I think for that particular school, it was a pretty small branch. It was a chain. I went to Yoyogi Animation School. And it was actually suggested to me by one of you guys that was watching me. Thank you. So I asked them, if I was okay to, in class, and they were like, well, you seem to understand everything that we're talking about, so I think you'd be fine. Although I wasn't fine all the time. I mean, in class, like, I had a dictionary on my phone, and every time the teacher said, like, a word that I didn't understand, it was, like, I'm not used to writing Japanese at all. Are you going poop? Please tell me that was just a burp. We'll find out in a couple of minutes. So, I wasn't fine, like, a lot of the times. Like, every time he said a word, like, I'd have to write it down, and then he keeps saying it, so then I'd start looking on my phone, and I probably looked really rude. I probably looked like I was texting all the time. But no, I was just looking at a dictionary on my phone. And, yeah, but I learned a lot of new words that way. Like, for example, the Japanese word for speed lines, and for storyboards, and for main character, and plot, those kind of things. And we talked about those a lot in class. So, it was good for me, but I think if I didn't understand as much as I did already before I entered, I probably would have been entirely lost. Like, because he would give the lesson, and then he would give us like an hour or an hour and a half to get started on what he told us to do. So if I didn't understand anything in those 30 minutes, I'd be screwed. And there was like, I think 2 or 3 times where I was really like lost, and so I had to ask one of the 2 friends that I made in class, like, okay, what? And they knew that I was foreign and they were comfortable with it, so maybe they were annoyed by me asking, I'm not sure. I tried not to ask too often. So yeah, that's my experience. If you guys are thinking like, oh, they'll accept me, if as long as I pay the money, you're kind of right. They might, allow you to be at the school. However, Japan is a place where you don't want to cause like unnecessary trouble for anyone else, and so you kind of should live by that. Even though you're not Japanese yourself, like, you should just respect how they do it. I mean, everybody would be happy and nice enough to help you, but in my opinion, I don't think you should do that, because even, for as little or as much help as I did ask, it was still, I was the only one, and you don't want to be that only one. So, I think is that it for today? You want a nurse? Yeah? Are you hungry? Or are you just trying to poop? Okay, I think she's really pooping now, so we're gonna have to cut it short. Say bye-bye. 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 What up? Oh, gross. Spit.